we're back doing episode 2 of Millennial Media Local Features. I'm joined by Terry. Terry's going to give you a brief overview of what he does.
So my name's Terry and I run a model agency called Savalas Models. We represent both men and women and we deal with fashion and commercial clients.
So what gave you the inspiration to set up your own agency and start working for yourself?
I think I've always liked the idea of being my own boss, and as far as sort of model agencies goes, I noticed that there was a gap in the market, particularly in the North East, and I realised that there was a lot of hidden talent up here, and I wanted to be that agency and that driving force to catapult these undiscovered models into the industry.
You can see from the board behind, Terry looks after a lot of different models. Savalas will essentially help the models get jobs, but there's still an onus on the models to be good at communicating with the agency and putting themselves out there to make sure they're getting the best work. So what would you say to anybody, not just models, anybody who's an entrepreneur who's in that similar sort of position where they have to kind of put themselves out there? What would you say the main things are for being successful and getting more work?
So I would say being determined, honesty, which I think is super important, and I think you've got to be prepared to do a lot of stuff for free as well, especially as a model. You've got to be prepared to go on free test shoots to build up your portfolio, and I think it goes for any business owner. You've got to be prepared, let's say if you own a clothing brand, you've got to be prepared to send your t-shirts out to influencers to get the brand's name out there, or if you're just starting up a protein bar, send it out to people to get feedback from it and sell your product really.
Yeah, I feel like that's so important. I'm so glad you said that across all different industries. You've got to be willing to, at first, eventually, you'll be able to charge a lot of money for your time, but at first, while you've got a lot of time that is your most abundant resource, you need to be using it to your best of your ability and getting yourself out there, doing loads of stuff, doing test shoots.
Yeah.
I remember when I kind of did modelling, I was always kind of going to do free shoots, stock images even, you met loads of people there. You never know when you're doing free stuff who you're going to meet. I actually met one of my first business partners who I've had a business with for a long time doing a free photo shoot for like a fitness clothing brand. So it might not necessarily even be photographers or people who might book you in the future who you'll meet. It could be anyone, and you'll only get those opportunities if you put yourself out there into as many different situations as possible.
Definitely.
So I think for a model, if you're kind of going out there, doing stuff for free and getting your face out, getting your portfolio bigger and bigger and bigger, it can only help.
Oh, for sure.
So this is a little one for any potential aspiring models out there. What is the kind of process? So say someone decides that they want to go into modeling, what are the steps? Let us know how it works with kind of your agency, but so that people can see kind of across the board how it works. So I decide today that I'm interested in becoming a model. What's the next thing for me?
Well, there's a couple of different steps with Savalas. I would say step 1, get a friend or a family member to take some shots of you just off a smartphone. Natural lit, headshot, full length and 3/4, or side profile as well is great. So you can submit those pictures online. So if you go onto the website www.savalasmodels.com and click on become a model and then fill out your online application form and then upload the pictures, or every Monday we'll have an open call where aspiring models can come in between 1 and 3 p.m. and come meet with the team.
Right, and then from that point, so say I've went through that, what would kind of the next steps be on the modelling journey? Would they have required to have done any stuff in the past, or is this where they now go and do their free stuff once they've kind of put that in?
Well, there are models who walk through and they've had no experience at all, and we accept that. That's great, that's absolutely fine, because that's what we would call a brand new face. But there are models who have maybe had experience in the past and they're looking for a new agency, new management, so they can come in as well. But if that's the case, we would still like them to obviously come on board to be prepared to build up a new book. We need to create a Savalas portfolio. So yeah.
And then once they've got that portfolio all built up, is that when it goes out to clients and then they come back with?
Yeah, so obviously we'll create a profile on our website and we'll send out to clients what's called a model pack, or we'll send sort of like these model cards out to clients in the post to just share with the client, look up a new face who we've got and tell the client a little bit about them, and then hopefully they'll be invited to go down and cast with that particular client, or they might get a direct booking.
And I feel like casting is that another example of where you have to kind of put yourself out there and do things for free in order to get something back. So
yeah, so a casting in the modelling world, it's like a job interview in sort of the real world. So models are expected to go and meet with a new client. So it's like you would go meet with a new employer. So don't expect the client to pay for your travel if you're going to a casting, because that client's giving you the opportunity to come and meet with them for potential work. So you as a model's got to be prepared to go and meet those clients.
Okay, 3 bits of advice you'd give to someone their first ever casting. What would you say to them? What to say to the client, maybe how to present themselves if they've not done this before, because this can be used across any different, if you're a graphic designer or whatever, going to meet a client, this is something that you can take, but what would you say to a model doing that?
To a model, always take your book, always take your cards. I think I'm going to run over here, there's definitely more than 3 points I can give. But present yourself well. It's always good to wear sort of fitted clothing like skinny jeans and a vest top or a plain t-shirt, but put a little bit of your own style into it as well. Make sure you've got plenty of charge on your phone and stay in touch with your agency.
Plenty of charge on your phone, stay in touch with your agency and wear things that show off your kind of...
Your personal style,
yeah.
Your own sort of style into it.
So as you can see, there's loads of things that you can try and implement there, whether you are an aspiring model, personal trainer, makeup artist, graphic designer, social media marketer, all of those things, self-employed industries, you can implement any of the things that we've learned here today. So thank you so much to Terry for letting us come into his HQ. I know he's very, very busy, especially he's got models going out left, right and centre. So thanks for your time and for giving people a bit of an insight, because I think it's so valuable.
Thanks for coming in.
So make sure you tune in next Wednesday. Thanks a lot.